Hello, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships, where recently we got a new ship in the armory, or I say new ship, but it's at least new in the armory, and that is the Tier 7 German battleship, battle cruiser, the Scharnhorst 43. So what I want to talk about today is the Scharnhorst 43 worth it? And I very much think that she is worth it, and I'll get in and talk more about the details. So first off, since she's a Tier 7 ship, she's not very expensive in coal, and I wouldn't even recommend bothering using a coupon, maybe unless you're like a really new player and coal's hard to come by. The price will be 85,000 coal. With the coupon, it'll bring the price down to 63,750. And again, this is a coupon for 25% off, and it resets twice a year. So it's going to, on NA, it resets the November 29th. Otherwise, I don't really think you need to use the coupon for the ship, as I said, unless you're a brand new player. So what you'll get is the ship itself, and then a commander with 3 skill points, and also the port slot. The key features of the ship is high survivability, high secondary battery gun efficiency, access to the engine boost consumable, armor-piercing shells with low penetration capabilities, a negative. Another negative is the low main battery damage per salvo. So this ship is my go-to ranked battleship here in World of Warships. And one of the things that's really great about this ship is her fact that she has an engine boost. So meaning that we can get around the map quite quickly, and being just a Tier 7 battleship. So often what I do is I end up using an engine boost right at the start of a battle. When it comes to ranked, I think Scharnhorst excels in ranked. If you are playing randoms with Scharnhorst 43, it can be a little touch and go. If you're top tier, Tier 7, or same tier 7 versus Tier 7, or Tier 7 versus Tier 5, you'll do all right. If you're Tier 7 versus 8s and 9s, then Scharnhorst 43 will definitely be very much a struggle in terms of how this ship performs. Because then, there's a large disparity between the hit points of a Tier 7 battleship versus a Tier 9 battleship, so on and so forth. But for ranked, I think Scharnhorst 43 is absolutely amazing and just really good. This ship has a bit of probably a mixed feeling in the community. So it was last year during, I think it's the Christmas event, World of Warships, Wargaming, they gave away the ship for free, basically for just playing the game, as it were. Which was awesome. It was really great at Wargaming, but at the same time, what Wargaming did is that they gave a brawling ship to a player base, to many players who don't understand how brawling battleships work, or didn't have Scharnhorst or Scharnhorst B. Those two ships are identical. Let alone how do you play a brawling battleship at Tier 7, because brawling these days is not like the good old days of brawling here in World of Warships. But having said that, the reason I said all that is that you just see a lot of Scharnhorst 43 players doing very questionable things in World of Warships, because they just W in and just like instantly die, essentially. But with Scharnhorst 43 and ranked, it's a phenomenal battleship in ranked, and I really enjoy playing it a ton. So let's kind of get into why I like playing it. One was just the engine boost is really great to have. You can get around the map. You can play really aggressive. When you have the engine boost, it helps you to be able to avoid, different, it's a 15% engine boost, so it's not an 8, it's not 20, it's 15%, but it helps you avoid in kind of drifting. Maybe you're avoiding torpedoes, different things like that. You get torpedoes just like Scharnhorst and Scharnhorst B gets, but these torpedoes reload in 45 seconds before you take Adrenaline Rush into account. So you have very fast reloading torpedoes. The other thing with Scharnhorst 43, besides your repair party, pretty standard among Tier 7 battleships, is that this is straight up a brawling battleship. So, is Scharnhorst 43 worth it? Well, if you don't like playing brawling battleships, ships that have a very effective main battery, then you probably won't like Scharnhorst 43. You'd probably be, even Scharnhorst or Scharnhorst B are better with the main battery gun performance versus Scharnhorst 43. And that ties into kind of a double-edged sword, so to speak, with the main battery guns here. So with the Scharnhorst 43 main battery guns, compared to Scharnhorst or Scharnhorst B, they reload longer, they don't have as long of main battery gun range. But this is where one of the things I don't like about Scharnhorst 43 compared to the other two that commanders can find quite frustrating. You have a standard fuse time on the armor-piercing shells, 0.033 seconds. So you will often overpin tier 6, tier 7 cruisers because your armor-piercing shells won't arm and they'll just sail harmlessly directly through. So you have a lot of broadside cruisers that you won't citadel, unless perhaps it's a heavy cruiser, you know, that's a little thicker to help arm the shells, or like Scharnhorst and Scharnhorst B have a 0.010 second. So you're very much less likely to over-penetrate cruisers at tier 7. So that's really the downside of these shells, the main battery here on the Scharnhorst 43. And we have a little bit of a double feature here, if you will. So again, you see I'm using the engine boost. I'm sailing right into the cap. The playstyle of Scharnhorst 43 is that she's a brawling battleship. Scharnhorst 43 is effective within its secondary gun range, which if you build for it, it's 9.5 kilometers. You should not play this ship as a mid-range to long-range battleship. You know, typically for high tiers, like tier 8 and up, I say it's 12 to 15 is intermediate, medium range, right? This is a brawling battleship. It's meant to get up close. If they give this thing a hydroacoustic search, then Scharnhorst 43 would be powered, in my opinion. But they haven't, so it's honestly probably good, because what you get instead is that you get that engine boost, which is great, meaning you can close the distance quickly on enemy ships and brawling, getting your secondary guns into effective range of enemy ships, enemy players. So the secondaries, it's kind of a funny story with the secondaries, because when you compare the damage per minute to, let's say, the Scharnhorst or Scharnhorst B, the DPM is the same, which I think is it's so funny. But the kicker is, with these, is that the reload time on the Scharnhorst 43 is faster than the Scharnhorst B and Scharnhorst. So it's there's a different arrangement of secondary battery caliber shells. So they reload every 3.1 to 6.5 seconds, maybe before you start taking specific combat signals and commander skills, whatever. And on Scharnhorst and Scharnhorst B, the 3.4 to 7.5 seconds. So how would you say that the secondary damage per minute is identical when the secondary battery guns reload faster on 43? Well, it's essentially this. Wargaming nerfed the damage across all three of the different variations of the secondary armaments across 43. So then you get the same exact DPM, almost. Like it's less than, it's just over 1,000 secondary DPM difference. So they just lowered the damage across the secondary battery armament, because you have 105, 7x2 105s, and you have 4x1 150s, and then you get this 4x2 150 millimeter guns. So it's really funny, honestly. Here's an example where you have a heavy cruiser, broadside. So let's see what we do. Yeah, there's 2 citadels. So something more stocky, like in New Orleans, is much more likely to fuse the armor-piercing shell versus if it was like a Dallas or a Helena. You're more likely to overpin just because of something like New Orleans has slightly a bit more armor here. So as you see, the enemy team also unfortunately has an AFK Fuso. So we're just kind of just YOLOing right in. So we are going to take advantage of that. Fuso is AFK for sure, as we permanently incapacitate that Scharnhorst 43's torpedo tubes. The torpedo tubes are just out on the deck, so it is very likely that they will become incapacitated if you get focused enough by destroyers and high explosive spam in the game. So I think I take, in the first slot, the main armaments mod 1, which reduces the risk of your torpedo tubes and main battery becoming incapacitated, reduces the repair time, and improves their survivability as a whole. But you can't just fully rely on the torpedoes. So this Scharnhorst 43 player is going to fully only rely on his torpedoes as he goes in for the kill here on me, where I'm going to use a combination of torpedoes and main battery guns to kill him, right? So if we had only relied on our torpedoes, which do a maximum damage of 13,700 a pop at 6 km range, we wouldn't have killed him, right? So we needed our main battery guns to help us out here. And this is kind of funny because after we've killed him, it's like 30 seconds of just sitting here with like on the verge of death with the Fusil spotting us. But this is kind of where sometimes the engine boost can help you out if you're accelerating and deaccelerating, you know, kind of juking a little bit. We're trying to angle our armor as well, and he gets an overpin on our superstructure, which leaves us alive. I'm gonna drop the torpedoes, which you actually have a decent. As we get now we get the heal, great. Which you actually get decent torpedo arcs here on Scharnhorst 43. It can be really frustrating when you don't get good torpedo arcs, especially if you're kind of pushing in for the yellow on enemy ships. So all in all, the Scharnhorst 43 is meant to brawl. It's meant for close range. She'll suffer if you try to play her as a mid to long range battleship, where like Scharnhorst and Scharnhorst speed would a little bit better because you get like spotter plane. You don't get access to that here on 43, and you get a longer main battery gun range on Scharnhorst and Scharnhorst B, and you get a faster reload time on Scharnhorst and Scharnhorst B. I think it's like 20 seconds, where here it's 23 seconds. So they kind of tweaked certain variant things here for the 43 version compared to the standard version in the game. So, you know, if you're a newer player in World of Warships and you're wanting to get that brawling experience, and you want to learn how it works well, then I would say Scharnhorst 43 would be like really easy. I could fully recommend it. And picking it up because of just having such a low cost in terms of coal and resources compared to other ships where you see, you know, over 100,000, 200,000 and up, you know. So honestly, the price of just 85,000 coal isn't bad unless you use the coupon and get 63,750 instead if you're brand spanking new and coal is just really hard for you to come by. In this Christmas season, as the coupon resets and we have this new ship in the armory for coal, if you are wanting to pick up a brawling battleship, I would definitely recommend the ship. I meant to say at the beginning of the video, my first Jingles feature was with the Scharnhorst 43. It's my first battle ever in Scharnhorst 43 in randoms, and like we cleaned house. It was hysterical. It was awesome. If I remember to, I'll link it in the comments below. Yeah, I think it's, if you can look at the Mighty Jingles made for brawling, built for brawling, something like that. And otherwise, I'll have that same video with my own commentary linked here at the very end if you want to check it out. I've done an upgrade commander build video here on the Scharnhorst 43, so she's a very much comfort pick. I really like her for ranked. I think she would probably struggle. She struggles a little bit more in randoms. It really depends on the matchmaking. If they bless you with just being at same tier, or you're seeing 6s and 5s. If you see 8s and 9s, then Scharnhorst 43 will be a much more difficult experience to play. So if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. Until next time, take care.